Okay, so we just settle down. Try to sit with a straight back. Just imitate how the Buddha sits. By looking at the Buddha's body, his posture, we can see self-confidence, fearlessness, peace, love, compassion. The natural expression of his face, the way he keeps his upper body, is the fearlessness, the peace, the self-confidence. We can already now have those mental factors or emotions, and then the body expresses the way the mind feels, goes together. Sometimes when we're in despair and we force ourselves to sit up and open up our chest, the despair goes. Sometimes the mind is first full of courage and then gives that information to the body, and then the body expresses that emotion. So body and mind very much connected. Try to feel or experience how it feels when you sit with a completely upper body, a straight back, but you know it's only the spine that is holding. The rest is completely relaxed. Full of self-confidence. Knowing what we're about to do is a good thing to do. But in order to relax, we completely let go of all expectations. Nothing needs to happen in this session. Nothing to attain, nothing to achieve. Just reciting the sadhana, that's good enough. And that's not difficult. So when you know about the vows of those 7 medicine Buddhas, quite a few of them have promised that if at the time of death somebody cries out my name in utter sincerity, I will be able to protect them from falling to the lower realms. So that's a great promise, isn't it? But will we remember at the time of death to cry out that name, or to think of the medicine Buddha, or just to take refuge? Are we really aware that we will die one day? You see, death is the only thing that we're absolutely certain that it will occur. How much time do we spend thinking about this moment? Even people who are quite sick, cancer, AIDS, when first they come to know that it cannot be cured, then some thoughts go into that moment of the mind leaving the body. But then one forgets. So then, for most of the people who are healthy, they don't want to think about death. All our plans that we're making for the future are for this life. As long as we think like that, probably there will be no awareness of crying out the names of the 7 medicine Buddhas, or Shakyamuni Buddha, or taking refuge. How many times in the morning do we get up thinking, this could be my last day, how do I want to spend it? How many times do we go to bed in the evening thinking, one day less in my life where I have time to do what I want to do? We're convinced that we will finish this retreat, convinced that we will go back home tonight. How can we be so sure? If we don't integrate death into our life, we will not prepare for it. If we're not prepared, then we freak out at the time of death. And then all the practices that we did in this life, of course, the karmic imprints will still be there, but it will be very difficult for them to ripen in our next life. So this is why we have to familiarize ourselves with the idea that we can die any moment. You don't need cancer, you don't need AIDS. Having a body which is very fragile is enough. We all carry that fatal sickness with us 24 hours a day. The fragility of this body. So just look, just check, if you were to die right now, where would your mind go? What kind of thoughts would you think? Try to make this real. Where is your refuge? It's quite good to see how we react spontaneously, like while we're still alive, when we don't feel so well, when we're frightened, panicking, depressed, or just restless. Where do we look for something that makes us feel better? Quite often, actually, it's possessions. We go out and buy something. Have a nice meal, watch a movie, maybe take some drugs or alcohol. And it's true that makes us feel better. But at the time of death, all the things that we have consumed, do you think that will help to keep your mind peaceful, focused, full of self-confidence and courage? You see, we think we're not attached because you only feel your attachment when you're about to lose something or when you lost something. So think of something in your house that you like very much, like an object. And think that exactly the person that you don't like comes and takes it away. Then uses it for a few days and thinks, oh, that's useless, and then throws it away. If there's absolutely no reaction in your heart, then you're not attached. If you get upset, you're attached. Imagine that situation. Somebody that you don't like throwing away your things. Something that we also take refuge in is friends and family. When we feel lonely, sad, depressed, frightened. And it's true, it helps. But at the time of death, not sure, because we know that we have to leave them behind. We know that we can't rely on them anymore. I know it's painful to think like this, but we have to start thinking like this to make sure that we don't create any negativities with them, which then leaving this body would make it even more difficult, because we're full of guilt and regret. Look how we feel when we say goodbye to somebody that we like. It's painful, we cry. And we're convinced that we will see them again in this life. It's good to think from time to time that everybody that we rely upon now for protection, love, happy feelings, appreciation, at one point we will have to leave them forever. And they can't come with us. So they can't help us. Then quite a lot of people identify with this body, thinking that they are their body. Then death becomes very difficult. Quite a lot of people use their body just to have pleasure. Then as we get older, the body can't produce those pleasant feelings anymore. Then there's a lot of despair, frustration. At the end of this life, the consciousness has to leave this body. So relying on the body for happy feelings is not very trustworthy. There again, we think we're not attached to this body. But see how we react when somebody touches it that we don't like. Or just imagine, you're lying on your deathbed and exactly that person that you don't like wants to help you. Tries to calm you down. Tries to give you confidence. You won't be able to receive that help. That's why it's so important that we start to see beings as equal. We transform those feelings of too much attachment, too much dislike, into an equanimous feeling. So we can use this session, or especially at the beginning of the session of taking refuge, we can use it as a training for our moment of death. By checking, by looking, would the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha be a trustworthy object of refuge? Thinking about them, visualizing them, what does the mind do? Is the mind familiar enough with them to calm down, to feel peaceful? Is there enough trust? So by just visualizing or thinking about the Buddha and the Dharma and the Sangha, I relax, I become peaceful. So it's actually quite good if you feel a bit upset or frustrated right now. Then see what it does to the mind, taking refuge. If it makes you more upset or more frustrated, then it won't work at the time of death. We need to be able to see the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha as a manifestation of compassion and wisdom that we can completely trust, even at the time of death. That taking refuge at the time of death closes the door to the lower realms. So already now we feel some confidence and we don't freak out. So then you visualize about 4 inches above the crown of your head or in the space in front of you. It's a lotus flower. The center of the lotus is a white moon disk, and seated on the moon disk is my root guru, the Dharmakaya, essence of all the Buddhas, in the form of the medicine Buddha. So what happens to the mind when you visualize that? Do we believe that the Buddhas are actually there? Again, just take this example. How would you feel if the Dalai Lama would come into this room? This is what you're supposed to feel when you visualize. The Buddhas are always present. It's just because we don't have enough faith and we don't have enough trust that we can't receive their help. Try to see the actual Buddha made out of light, ready to help you in whatever way you allow that Buddha to help you. He's blue in color and his body radiates blue light. His right hand, in the mudra of granting sublime realizations, rests on his right knee, and holds the stem of the Arura plant between thumb and first finger. That gesture symbolizes conventional truth, compassion. The sole purpose for a Buddha to exist and to manifest in forms is to be of benefit to us. And his left hand is in the mood of concentration, and he holds a lapis lazuli bowl filled with nectar. It symbolizes ultimate truth. See, even though a Buddha sees all the suffering, they're not overwhelmed by it like us, because they know it's just dependent arising. It's merely labeled. It exists, but it's merely labeled. You stop the causes, the suffering is finished. And everybody can stop the causes, because everybody has Buddha nature. That's why their mind is at peace in the midst of all this suffering. We make it too real, becomes too heavy. We only see the negative side of it. And we don't have, or we have very little skills to help. That's why we're so overwhelmed. Because we have the arrogance of thinking that we can help. And then we burn out. He's seated in full Vajra position. He's wearing the 3 red colored robes of a monk. And he has all the signs and qualities of a Buddha. So try to hold that visualization. The more you familiarize your mind with visualizing the Buddha, then the easier it gets as we go along, and then at the time of death it might help. If we train now not to grasp at anything that we will lose anyway at the time of death, and we train now where to put the mind, it will work at the time of death. If we don't train it now, nothing will work. So, and again, just check the state of your mind when you take refuge. Does it make you calm and peaceful, full of trust and self-confidence? I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma. So the last line, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. One takes refuge in one's own Buddha potential. Try to see the difference of mind state from desperately seeking happiness for myself. How can I have an easy day, a lot of pleasures, and no problems? Try to see that state of mind is so narrow, so weak, and full of fear of not finding what you want and finding what you don't want. This is our habitual self-cherishing mind. Huge ego, lots of fear, but very narrow, very tight, very tense. Now you switch and you think, purpose of my life, like if you would be at the time of death, you'd think, the purpose of my next life will be being of benefit to others. Or you could think, it doesn't really matter where I am reborn, as long as I can continue to be of benefit to others. Repeat that thought a few times and see if there's a difference in mind state. Purpose of my lives, like this life, the next lives, is to be of benefit to others. May I be reborn in a place where I can benefit others. And generating the four immeasurable thoughts, again, that gives us tremendous courage and self-confidence. Being just concerned with our own happiness creates a lot of fears, depression, frustration. So again, we try to put the mind into it, to really generate the mind of love. May all sentient beings have happiness, the causes of happiness. Sometimes it helps when we think, wouldn't it be wonderful if all sentient beings had happiness and the causes of happiness? May I be able to give them happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. So here we can think the same way. Wouldn't it be wonderful if all beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering, if all the fighting would stop? Because fighting is like the aggressor suffers, the victim suffers, both suffer. May I be able to take away the suffering from all beings. May I have the skills to give them a state which is free from suffering. Then the mind of joy. May all sentient beings never be separated from the happiness that is without suffering. So that is a very determined mind, thinking, I will not just give him worldly happiness, the happiness that always falls apart. Even you live in a country where there is no conflict, still there's a lot of things that make you suffer. You still get old, you get sick, you have to die. None of it is pleasant. So we think, I will not give up until everybody is liberated or has attained enlightenment, not just worldly happiness. I will give them the happiness that is completely without any suffering, that lasts, never falls apart. Very high goal. Then where we have to start is by equanimity. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from both attachment and hatred, holding some close and others distant. So we see this is something we can do already now. We can generate for ourselves that mind of equanimity by seeing that to some we are too attached, too close, to others we're too distant, and to most of these beings, of the beings on this planet actually, we don't even care about. It is as if they don't exist. So we think, may that change, may I have an open heart to all beings, Not too close, because otherwise when they don't do what I want them to do, I get frustrated, I get angry. Not too distant, because then I forget about them. Okay, then especially for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will quickly, very quickly, attain the precious state of perfect and complete Buddhahood. For this reason, I will practice the yoga method of Guru Medicine Buddha. I prostrate to Guru Medicine Buddha, each and every offering, including those actually performed and those mental. And we offer the mandala. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with... Then again, you think of your specific requests that you would like to make for you and all others. So making requests for ourselves, that's perfectly okay, as long as we think that, of course, this is for myself, but it is, I want to have a healthy body, I want to have a good situation. Why? Because then it's easier already now to benefit others. Just having a healthy body just for the sake of having a healthy body, that's not very meaningful. That's why it doesn't give us any happiness. I beseech you, Bhagavan Medicine Guru, whose sky-colored holy body of lapis lazuli signifies omniscience. So you visualize if you had the Medicine Buddha in the space in front, it comes back to your crown. And you visualize above the crown of Guru Medicine Buddha is a wish-granting jewel, which is in essence your root Guru. Above that is the Buddha, delightful King of clear knowing, whose body is coral red in color. Then we recite the names, the request, page 6. To you, Buddha, renowned, glorious King of excellent science, fully realized, destroyer of all defilements, fully accomplished Buddha, having thoroughly realized the absolute truth of all phenomena. So then, you visualize that granting your request, the requests that you made, like for the qualities you would like to have, for the problems that you would like to be liberated from the heart and holy body of the King of Medicine Guru, Medicine Buddha, infinite rays of white light pour down, completely filling your body from head to toe. They purify all your diseases and afflictions due to spirits and their causes, all your negative karma and mental obscurations, everything else you don't want to have. So you can, as we recite the mantra, you can actually visualize that the light from the Medicine Buddha, like Medicine Buddha is the essence of all other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, it fills your body, and as it gradually fills your body, it pushes out the negativities through your lower doors. And those negativities leave your lower doors in the form of black smoke or dirty water, never to be seen again. And then as your body gradually fills with light, you can visualize that you are receiving all the qualities, like the skills to help others, the clairvoyance, the power, the compassion. So after having eliminated the negativities, you especially think now you're receiving, your body becomes as clear as a crystal, so you become an empty vessel. So then you fill this empty vessel with compassion, like you think that you are receiving the compassion from the Medicine Buddha. You're receiving the power of clairvoyance, omniscience, skills, everything that you want, everything that you need for you to be able to benefit others. Om Namo Bhagavate Bekenze Guru Bendurya Pravarachaya Tathagataya Arate Samyak Sambuddha. Then you visualize from the Medicine Buddha in front replicas of his body made out of light, some as big as mountains, some as small as atoms, just come towards you and then absorb into your body. And you think now, by doing this, you purify all negative actions that have been done with the body, and you get the blessings of the Buddha's body. Kind of you create the cause to attain a Buddha body, a rainbow body in the future. Those bodies absorb into you like snowflakes fall into a lake, and you get the blessings of the Buddha's body. Om Namo Bhagavate Bekenze. Then you visualize that the mantra in the form of the letters of the mantra come from the Buddha's throat. Then absorb into your throat. If it's too difficult, they just fall again onto your body, then absorb into the body like snowflakes when they fall on a lake. You receive the blessings of the Buddha's speech. By that we purify all negativities we've created with our speech, and we create, already now our speech becomes meaningful and beneficial. We're able to stop harming others with our speech. And then whatever comes out of our mouth in form of words will only be of benefit. Then you visualize the two implements, like the begging bowl and the arura plant, like replicas of those two things, again come towards you, absorb into your body or into your heart. This represents the Buddha's mind, the Medicine Buddha's mind, and you think that now you are receiving the blessings of the Buddha's mind, which of course is wisdom and compassion. The arura plant representing the compassion, the begging bowl representing the wisdom, so that your own compassionate wisdom can fully develop very quickly. You think you're purifying negativities of the mind and create the causes to attain the Buddha's mind. And again, those implements in the form of light absorb into your body or into your heart, just like snowflakes fall on a lake, completely merge with the water. Then again, light rays come down, and now completely dissolving everything into this pure sphere of the Dharmadhatu, just luminous space. Dissolve even the slightest notion of a inherently existing I or body or speech or mind or whatever. So you're not really dissolving existence, you're just dissolving inherent existence into that pure sphere, which is like space. Like when you look at the sky the morning, when it's completely clear, no limits, no obstructions, but you can't really find the sky. So just lose yourself into that space, merge with that luminous space, which is our true nature. But then if we just remain in that space, there's no way we can benefit anybody. So out of compassion now we take on the form of the Medicine Buddha. And at your heart appears a lotus and a moon disk. Standing at the center of the moon disk is the blue seed syllable Om, surrounded by the syllables of the mantra. So now as we recite the mantra, we visualize rays of light coming from our own heart, from the syllables, and then touching all beings that are around us. So that can be the beings of the 6 realms, so you can maybe, specifically go to the hell realms or to the hungry ghosts, animals, humans, gods and demigods. Or you can just think about this planet here and send this healing light to all zones of conflict, to prisons, hospitals, all people's homes, families where there's fighting. You can choose, or you can just send it to one particular person that you really, really want to be well. So you do according to your capacity, what you think or where you think the light is most needed. And we have this confidence that we are the Medicine Buddha, being able just to send out light rays which heal others' sicknesses of body and mind, heal their delusions, afflictive emotions, together with their imprint. And then we see that everything completely changes and all beings transform into the form of the lapis lazuli blue Medicine Buddha. Om Namo Bhagavate Bhagavate. Then feel great joy, confidence, and think, all sentient beings are transformed into the aspect of the Medicine Buddha Guru. How wonderful that I am now able to lead all sentient beings into that Medicine Buddha's enlightenment. Then the dedication, page 10. Due to these merits, may I complete the ocean-like actions of the